Hey, what's up you guys? So today we're going to be talking about Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas. This is the second book in the Throne of Glass series, and I did really enjoy this book. I thought that it continued off with our really strong characters, and I really enjoyed that. I really am a character-driven reader. I love characters. I also liked how this book was kind of structured a little bit differently, because in the first book we've got that clear structure of the competition, and we know that the book's going to end with the competition. But with this book, we don't really know what's going to happen as much. So it was a little bit more unpredictable in that way, and I did enjoy that as well. This book also kind of has, as part of it, a bit of a mystery, and I did enjoy that as well. I thought that Sarah J Maas, she really does hide her little mystery plot lines in these fantasy novels really well. I liked how in this book we got to see Celaena actually being a bit more of an assassin, a bit more of a badass, and that's kind of my general thoughts on the book. So now I'm going to get into where Throne of Glass leaves off, and then I'm just going to get into my spoilery thoughts for Crown of Midnight. So if you haven't read either Crown of Midnight or Throne of Glass yet, I would leave now because I'm just going to start spoiling. Throne of Glass leaves off. Kaltain is in prison. Celaena is King's champion. Celaena's broken up with Dorian. Celaena and Cole are about to start a thing. King and Duke Parrington seem kind of shady. So that's kind of the important things that we left off with in Throne of Glass. So in Crown of Midnight, Celaena is the King's champion and she is out there killing people. Or is she? Dun dun dun! She's not actually killing the people that the king is assigning her to kill. She's offering them a choice. Leave, forget your name, forget your titles, take some money, go, and I'm just gonna fake kill you. And that's what she does. And I thought that that was super epic. Like, it's one of those things where in Throne of Glass it kind of left off with me wondering, you know, what is she gonna do? She definitely doesn't support this king, so she's not gonna kill these people, is she? Like, she's a good person, right? I mean, she did kill people before, but she's a good person, right? She doesn't do the murders that she is supposed to be doing, and she has to kind of convince everyone that she is, and everyone just believes her, which I think is awesome. So everyone thinks that she's killing a bunch of people, but she isn't. And so then the king tasks her with killing Archer Finn, who is someone that she actually knows from her days prior to this whole King's Champion business. So Archer was a courtesan who she was kind of friends with as a kid. I thought that that was super awesome that this was kind of someone that she knows, so it complicates things. And so she goes and she starts investigating Archer because Archer is supposedly a member of a rebel group that's gonna fight the king, and she wants to figure out what's going on there so that she can help these people as much as possible, because she doesn't want to help the king because the king is bad. We've established King bad. So that's kind of what she is doing for this book. And so some other things that are kind of going on in the background of our overarching story of figure out what's going on with Archer. So some background things that are kind of happening is Dorian is developing magic. Woo! I'm so pumped for Dorian with magic, man. Like, Dorian's my favorite character. Anything that happens to him, I'm like, yes, more scenes with Dorian. I want more Dorian. Like, that's every single scene that I get with him. So when he started developing magic, when he like punched that hole in the wall, I was like, ooh, Dorian, you go, boy, you go, you go, you go. So that's what Dorian is doing. He's developing magic. He's having a bit of a moment. He is also getting over Celaena in the process. You know, she really did rock his world. He is now kind of getting past that. So he's just kind of finding himself. Like, he's having a I need to be single moment and find myself. And so that's kind of what I like about him. He's also further developing his relationship with Nehemia as far as their friendship goes. And I also really enjoyed that aspect because Nehemia just as that friend character, she's really supportive. She's really there for Celaena and Dorian, and so I do just like her as a friend for everyone involved in the book, honestly. So something else that's going on while all of this is happening is Celaena is doing some investigation into the word marks, which are something from the first book. So word marks are kind of like, they're kind of like magic, but not. So they're like two different magics in this world. There is, you know, if you're a magic wielder, and then there is the word marks, which is kind of like, it kind of feels almost original, like magic developed in people, but the word marks were there to begin with. So that's kind of how it feels. And so what the fuck is my cat doing? So word marks are something that Celaena is learning about. Nehemia is teaching her about them, and so she's getting a deeper understanding for what they mean and what's going on with that. And so she's also learning what the word marks in Elena's tomb mean and kind of what messages are left there in the tomb about what's going on in their current situation. With the developments in the tomb, we get to meet Mort, which is a magical knocker on a door, and so he is unhelpful as hell, and I love it. I'm here for an unhelpful character who pretends to be helpful. I think that they're fun. When I play D&D, that is the character that I play. I play the idiot character that is not helpful but also tries to help. And so I loved Mort. I love the addition of Mort. While we're learning more about the word marks, we're also learning about the clock tower in the garden that was suspicious in the first book. And so this clock tower, it is made out of wordstone, which causes like headaches, and it's really kind of weird, honestly, especially in people who have strong innate magic. It causes headaches, and it just has this otherworldly feel to it. And so as we learn more about this clock tower, we also learn more about things that the king has been doing underneath the clock tower, how he's been experimenting with people to create other creatures. And so that was really interesting. I'm curious to see where that's going to lead in the rest of the series, because now we know that there are going to be creatures, there are going to be things that are otherworldly, that are like from and of the word marks and of the word. So I look forward to seeing how that further develops in the series. Cole and Celaena are developing their relationship. Again, I'm just not here for it. I don't care about Cole. I think he is annoying. I am not here for their relationship, end of discussion, because he's so annoying. He is. Like, he's not a bad guy, I don't think. Like, he's not terrible. He's just annoying. In this whole book, we also get a bunch of foreshadows to the things that happened in Terrasen 10 years ago with their royal family being killed by the king. You know, that whole foreshadowing really leads up to the big plot twist at the end, which is that Celaena is Aelin. She is the heir to the Terrasen throne. She could potentially take it back. She could potentially stop the king of Adarlan. And I loved that twist. I really saw it coming, but I did think that it was well done overall, even though it wasn't super surprising, because there were so many little foreshadows, and I don't really like whenever a plot twist happens and there was no foreshadowing, or it feels like it came out of the blue, it feels like it came out of nowhere. So while Celaena is hunting Archer, she learns more about the things that Archer is involved in, and during this whole process, Cole gets abducted by the rebels so that they can kind of start a dialogue with Celaena, or so she thinks. Really, that was all a ploy to get her away from the castle so that they could kill Nehemia. Now, the issue with this is that Cole knew that there was a plot against Nehemia because the king had told him, and he kept this from Celaena. When Nehemia is dead, because she and Celaena had developed such a friendship, Celaena goes batshit. Like, she is pissed. And with good reason, honestly, because could you imagine for a second that you were in her shoes? Like, she deserves to be pissed. She blames Cole, which, you know what, I don't disagree with, because he knew. He should have told her. Like, I don't give a shit what the king told him to do. The king is a bad guy. We've established that. He is aware of that. He has thrown his law in with the wrong person. And so that's kind of my opinion on Cole. He's actively supporting someone he knows is not a good person, and I think that that's just not great. You know, he's trusting the king more than he's trusting Celaena, and like, Celaena has kind of proven herself a little bit more than the king, in my opinion. And the thing is, Celaena and Nehemia, like, their last conversation was not a very good one. Like, Nehemia was really calling Celaena out for not helping people as much as she could be. And I think that that's kind of a hard ask, because even though Celaena is technically the heir to the Terrasen throne, like, she doesn't have any power. Like, she doesn't have anyone backing her. Like, even if she had survived that night and she claimed her name, you know, she was who she was, she still didn't have anyone behind her other than people who would probably kill her. So it's one of those things where I think that it's just too much of an ask. Like, no one is cutting her any breaks, and I'm like, cut this girl a break, man. She lost everything. She, you know, she was a freaking child. She was like 8 years old. Like, cut her a break. Cut her some slack, y'all. But it's fine, because Nehemia dies, and then she goes batshit. Cole is able to convince the king to send her to Wendelin to kill the crown prince and, like, Wendelin royal family. He really does that. Cole really does that to try to help her, to get her away so that she can get to safety, and he doesn't tell Dorian any of this. And I was just like, dude, what is she gonna be able to do over there? Like, why are you trying to, like, send her away? but it's fine because she goes to Wendelin, and then the next book happens. So this book leaves us off with Celaena on her way to Wendelin. Dorian and Cole are still in the castle, but they're kind of growing apart because of all of the lies that Cole has been keeping from Dorian. And so now on to the next book. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. I post videos occasionally on this channel, but right now probably every day because Bookmas. So see you in my next one. Bye!